Pregame.com.
New York Jets at New England Sunday. Big rematch from last year's playoffs. Stephen, what do you think here? Jets, New England, who do you like?
Boy, I've seen point spreads, Marco, and we're doing this shooting this on Thursday, as high as 9.5. Yeah. Jets are, a pretty good road team under Rex Ryan. Pretty good as underdogs. I have them 13-6 against the spread as underdogs the last 19 times. It's always tempting, The flip side, though, with the Jets, probably no Nick Mangold. Without Nick Mangold, really no ground game or anything, and it hadn't been that effective when he was playing. It's been a big disappointment. That puts a lot of pressure on Sanchez going against a weak defense. I'm not a Sanchez fan, and so there's a reason why this is 9.5. But boy, you see this kind of rivalry. But the history of these two teams, Marco, it's either one team crushes the other. There's not really a whole lot in between.
Yeah, you talk about bad blood. I mean, these two teams don't like each other, and this would be, for me, as a Pittsburgh Steeler guy, this is a scenario where I like, I make it similar to Pittsburgh and Baltimore. It's the two division guys. They hate each other. They're battling every year, to finish 1-2 in the division. And last year, you had 3 games. They played 3 times. Mm-hmm. Jets win early in the season. Then in the rematch on a Monday night game, it was just an absolute beating.
45-3. And I think you're right. If Belichick has a chance to keep rolling, he'll run up a score on the Jets.
He ran the score up at that Monday night game. There's no question about it. And then they met in the playoffs, and the Jets beat them. And you can rest assured that hasn't sat well with Belichick, because, at the time, New England was a foregone conclusion that they were going to be in a Super Bowl, going into the playoffs the way they were playing last year. So playoff revenge is a huge motivator. So that would make me want to look at New England in this game. But the 9.5, it is a big number, and with that defense, let's face it, New England's defense, I don't care how good the offense is, that defense is not good.
Yeah.
They can get scored. Now, can Sanchez exploit it? They've got a few more offensive weapons, for him to go to throwing the ball, but I'm like you, I've never been a big Sanchez fan.
I don't like his weapons, Marco. I like Keller, their tight end. I like Santonio Holmes, but that's it.
Santonio Holmes has been missing in action so far this year.
I think he's been open. I blame more Sanchez. And he's your old Steeler guy. I like Santonio Holmes as a player.
Not as a person.
No, but, I don't like the rest of their wide receiver. I don't think they have a lot of depth there. And New England's also missing their best defensive player, Gerard Mayo, their linebacker. He's out. And, the problem, though, with New England, the Jets' defense has underachieved. Has not played as well as their gaudy reputation would indicate. But New England can be overrun at the line of scrimmage. Their center is out. Their offensive line is finesse type of guys. And I realize Brady gets the ball out very quick. But it's not some, great offensive line. So if the Jets' defense can finally step up and play to their capabilities, they certainly should be able to hang in to this big line.
Well, I hear what you're saying, and I can see the Jets coming out trying to establish the run. I know this has become a passing league across the board, but they don't want to trade points with New England. And if they have success early, it can keep them in the game, and it will shorten the game, which will hinder the play that I'm going to give. I'm going to come with the over in this game.
Because Rex Ryan has come out and said we're going back to our ground game.
Yeah. He's got to protect Sanchez. They're not doing it. But the only problem is, if they can't stop New England, and New England jumps up 14 points, you can stick that ground game where the sun doesn't shine, because it's going to be worthless. You've got to trade points. And that's one thing that we've seen with Belichick, no matter what the score is, and forget the fact that he hates the Jets. We're talking with any team. He doesn't take his foot off the gas. This team has scored 30 or more points in at least, I think it's a dozen or more games in a row, which is unheard of. You have a stat on the over-under.
You can't... New England's had some totals in the 50s where normally every wise guy in the world would go under that. They don't do it with New England. New England is an over machine. 13 of the last 15 times New England's gone over the total.
Yeah, and that's where I'm going. I can't play this game any other way. I'm going to take the game over the total for my pick. Just a lean on the over. Anything you have on this one?
Still studying this game. I highly doubt if I would lay this kind of this kind of tax with New England. I may try to be contrarian and maybe look to go under on this. I don't know, because that could be spitting in the wind going on an under against New England.
Barring and this is the thing. I mean, we're still only into October, but you always we're taping on Thursdays. You got to check weather on game day. If weather becomes a factor, then all bets are off. But if the weather's good, I just don't see New England. I see New England scoring at least 35 to 38 points in this game, and I don't need a lot out of the Jets then to get the over. So I'm going to go over the total for my selection. Steven's kind of on the fence, but he's not going to be on the fence with the next game. We're coming back with Stephen Nover's NFL best bet, video best bet of the week. He goes for 3 in a row. We'll be right back.